You're listening to Errol, Parker and Clancy Overall, editors of the Batuta Advocate on Desert Rock FM.
Well, welcome back to Batuta Advocate radio show on Desert Rock FM. We're down in Melbourne. We've made the trip down. We've got some friends we want to speak to down here, and it'll be a little series of different guests that we've tracked down while we're down here today. We're talking to a dual code Paralympian.
Correct.
Dual codes. That makes you sound like
that sounds good, doesn't it?
Israel Folau
Or
type.
code hopper.
Code hopper.
Minus the hopping.
Yeah.
So tennis, basketball, and just a media personality in general. Dylan Alcott, thank you for joining us, mate.
Gents, thanks so much. It's nice to finally come on a legitimate radio station after being on Triple J and now the Hit Network. This is the big deal.
Well, it's all gradually about getting away from the communists, I guess, and then Hit was a commercial entity, of course, and then and now, of course, rural Outback Queensland radio. Mate, you're also an author. Was that an autobiography?
It was, yeah. I actually wrote it. So I originally had some help writing it, and I found that I'm a bit of a weirdo and I got a bit of a different voice that's hard to mimic, so I just couldn't really, if someone else wrote it, it wasn't going to be my words, and so I actually wrote the whole thing, 90,000 words in about a month.
Without a full stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just smashed it out. I'm so glad I did, because if you read the book, it's called Able, and if you read it, I think you can tell it's me. And also, you can tell stories verbatim and people will list them out, but it just always isn't as good. And to be able to put it in your own words, I think what the hardest part was, the audiobook in your own voice.
You read that?
Yeah, it took ages. Yeah. Because you know how if you know how to say, like, you know what happened, so you'll say the three of us walked into a bar, but I'll just say went into a bar because I know what happened.
Yeah.
If you don't read the exact word, you've got to go back to the start of that paragraph, start again. Oh, took ages.
Fuck that.
So you got word for word, really?
Pretty much, yeah, everything. You can add like a laugh or something like that. I mimic my mum's voice, actually, where I sound a bit transgender. I'm like, doo-doo, come on.
Chris Lilly vibes.
Exactly right, yeah.
It actually is good, though, to do that, make it a real autobiography, because nothing irks you more than when you're reading like your favourite sports stars' memoirs, and it just sounds way too articulate for a sports star as well.
There was a part in mine that was written for me, and it said, you know me, I like taking the piss out of myself. I'm not that inspirational or serious about it, about being in a wheelchair. And it said, when I was in Thailand, even though I was confined to my wheelchair, my heart was free like a bird. I was like, have you ever talked to me before? I wanted to punch myself in the face.
Free like a bird.
Yeah, my heart and soul was free like a bird. I thought.
In Thailand too, I mean, that doesn't really strike me as a country with that's too considerate. You know, like there's not too many ramps, I don't think.
Very minimal. Actually, I went to the full moon party, and this was before.
On the sand, and
this is before anyone knew. You know who I was, and I was getting filmed so much. I think it was the first time I'd seen someone in a wheelchair let out of the pen at home and having a good time. So, yeah, it's not the most accessible.
You travel a lot with your sport. What country do you reckon has it locked down for for people of all walks and wheels?
Yeah, I think there's two ways to look at it. I look at it the hardware, so like the actual physical environment. So somewhere like Australia, Great Britain, the USA are pretty good at those kinds of things. The USA have a lot of automatic doors everywhere where you push a button, like every restaurant, which is great for someone who can't use their arms as much as me. But in terms of like the software, which is like the way that people think, you'd be shocked to know of the 28 leading economic countries in the world, the OECD countries, Australia, 25 of 28 of people with disability living in poverty.
Really?
Crazy, yeah?
25 or 28?
Yeah, so we're like third last.
Really?
Because we can't get jobs here, but it looks accessible.
Yeah.
But the actual understanding and acceptance isn't as high as you'd think. So, yeah, it's different. But then you go to like, I backpacked around the world for 7 months by myself. Yeah. And it was awesome because, you know, some joints, I cannot tell you how many stairs there are in Europe. It's like an episode of Wheelchair Survivor. If an elevator doesn't work, you're fucked. It was so cool to see different parts of the world and how it reacted, and also how people reacted to you as well. Yeah.
Like with your sport, does that kind of channel into like, you know, I guess winning a gold medal would be probably not as daunting as 1,000 stairs in front of you in some fucking monastery in Germany.
For sure, man. Exactly right. Getting into the Berghain. Exactly right. And I think that's what's so cool about it is I used to Google how do you travel in a wheelchair, and there's nothing. Yeah. I had no idea what I was doing. And it's just about, also when you travel for sport, I hate people that say when they're sports people say how hard it is, because it's a great job. Yeah. And, you know, pushing paper in an office would be tough. And I'm not saying it wouldn't. But when you travel for sport, it is airport, into car, into hotel, into room service, into tennis court, into room service, into tennis court, into room service, then you might have half a day off and come home. So you don't actually see the world as much as you think. So to travel for 7 months, it was awesome. I had some gnarly stories. I got mugged by 3 dudes in Chicago.
Really?
There was these 3 dudes, and I was actually at a Flume gig in Chicago. It was 2013, and I went and took a piss on a dumpster because it wasn't accessible. And I went out the back, and these 3 dudes came up to me and said, "Hey man, do you have any money?" I said, "Yeah, I got a bit of money," and I gave them like $5, and they said, "Actually, we need your whole wallet." And I was like, "Oh," so I gave them the cash, and they go, "No, we need the cards as well." I said, "Actually, look, guys, I haven't got very long to live, and if I go to hospital, I need my cards to be able to pay for it." And then they sat there for 2 minutes, had a meeting about whether they should take it, and then they took my cards. But I'm all about equality, and I used to say to my mum, "There's no way I'll get mugged, Mum. I'm in a wheelchair. Who would do that?" Well, equality.
Everyone deserves the right to get rolled behind a nightclub.
And then, like, the world works out. About 2 months later, I was on the way to New York, and I was in a bathroom in Dallas, and there was a Ziploc bag full of. I was in a disabled bathroom, and I opened up this toilet lid, and there was a Ziploc bag of money in the toilet.
Really?
Yeah, it was just sitting there.
Okay.
So that must have been
so
a drug
you
drop.
Benefited from the drug trade as well.
Correct, exactly right. Yeah. So I obviously accidentally put that in my bag.
America's a fucking wild place. Isn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it?
These things must have been grim for those blokes too, right? It's like
we dropped it in the disabled bathroom, and then
it's like they had to have a meeting. Like, this guy's just told us he's dying.
And two of them were like, "Let him go." And this one guy was like, "Nah, we need him." He looked at him, he's like, and I'm like, "Boys, what's going on here?" And they took it. Fuckers.
Well, the guilt trip didn't work out.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the sport. We had an interview with Phil Kearns the other day, who was on the podcast. He was talking about funding for Olympic sports and just the sports in general, because it's not just the gold medals that everyone is working towards. There's a lot of different kind of worlds that people work in, a lot of sports that aren't in the Olympics. How is that? Is that well funded where you're at?
Oh man, I mean, I'll give you the rundown. So like 2000 and 2004 Paralympics, you almost had to get pay to go when you were a Paralympian. You know, Ian Thorpe was making millions of dollars at that point. So it's tough. We don't get paid not even near as much as our able-bodied counterparts. I'm not crying poor. I'm one of the lucky ones who's made it in the mainstream and face of a bank, and I'm fine. But if I won the Australian Open this year and I got $22,000, Novak Djokovic won. He got $4.8 million.
Yeah.
If you lose the first round of the Australian Open as an able-bodied player, you get $60,000. Yeah. Now, back in the day, no one cared about us. Fair enough. But now, 8,000 people bought tickets to watch me. Yeah. How many people are watching old mate on court 17? No one. And they get 60 Gs. But in saying that, 5-10 years ago, nothing. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's bad. It's getting better. It's getting better all around the world. And the Paralympics is fully funded, but it's all through donation. So the public donated. Yep. There needs to be more people like myself and Kurt Fernley who have made it, who deserve to, as a result, get remunerated. Because when I was training for London Paralympics, I moved overseas. I was on a disability pension, broke up with my partner, had no money. Like, you got nothing. And it's getting a lot better now, which is awesome. And
don't have to burn the candle out.
Yeah, and even just to buy equipment. Like, one of my friends, Kelly Cartwright, she's a paraplegic amputee runner. Her leg's 80 Gs.
Yeah, right.
What?
80 grand, man.
Just the blades.
My current tennis chair is a carbon fibre mould of my body, the same way Daniel Ricciardo sits in. He gets a carbon fibre mold of his F1 car. 40 grand would it cost. I got to donate it. Yeah. 40 Gs. That's ridiculous. And
everything's titanium as well.
Yeah, titanium, carbon. And if you don't have the good gear, you get your ass kicked these days.
For sure.
Because all around the world, and that's the good thing about it, Paralympic sport now is first and foremost fully professional, but also fully elite. It's not a come and try event where we all sing Kumbaya because we're happy to be there. It's like, no, I'm going to kick your ass and train my ass off. So now sponsors and ticket holders and the media are starting to realise that and getting behind it, and even doing things like this. If this podcast, if you guys were doing this in 2010, you'd be like, let's get a Paralympic. Fuck, who are they?
Murder ball was pretty big back then.
True, actually.
It was.
Have you ever played murder ball?
Nah, man, I'm too much of a pussy.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of blood.
Yeah. There's a guy called Riley Batt who is like the best wheelchair rugby player in Australia. In the world. He's from Australia. He's got no legs and 2 fingers on each hand. That's it. And he's so much faster than me. Like, he's a freak. The guys that play that are like quadriplegics, so the guys hanging along with all 4 limbs. So most of them ex-motocross who have like broken their necks, right?
Yeah.
Those guys, they go so fast in their chair and then they crash, but they can't put their arms out to stop because they haven't got the strength. Just land on their face.
Yeah, those
maniacs. And I like my face too much.
Well, it's on a lot of billboards. I've seen
Dylan. That's what's going to be paying the bills, you know?
Exactly right. The money maker. Exactly right.
So you dance between radio gigs and campaigns. That kind of all you glowed up with your campaigns and all your shoes and all that kind of happened at once. Have you just been in and out of meetings for the last 18 months?
Pretty much, man. I've got a good team around me who look after me now, and so people are like, what do you do with your life? And I've kind of got like 7 jobs, I say. So I play tennis, obviously. I work on radio, was on Triple J, but now on Hit, which is also known as Today FM or Fox FM. I'm a motivational speaker. I've got my own consulting company with my brother and my dad and a team called Get Skilled Access. So we like work with the governments and corporate Australia on helping them better understand what people with disability need, customer service, but also products, but also get them ready to employ people with disabilities. And then I've also run the foundation, the Dylan Alcott Foundation and Ability Fest. So a lot of meetings. But man, the response from the Australian public, like I used to say when I was a kid, I wanted to make it in the mainstream to try and help, my community and things. And I never thought it happened to the point where, like, I walk down the street. If I walk down the street in Melbourne, I probably take about 40 or 50 photos a day. It's just, like, I can't believe it. The best part about it, people used to run up to me and go, oh, my God, why are you in a wheelchair? Or what's that? Or stare at you. Now they come and go, oh, that's Dylan. I couldn't give a flying fuck that I'm in a wheelchair. And how cool is that, And I think more people deserve that as well with people with disability. Just trying to educate on that. But, like, getting your own shoe, not bad for a brother who can't walk.
No, for sure.
I was pretty happy about that.
Has anyone else been in this space? In like doing like where you're at in Australia and kind of modern history? Can't really recall anyone.
Like how did you learn how to be a broadcaster? At the start. I mean, it's a bit different to playing tennis.
It is. People cop out answers when they say they can just do something. Mate, I never had any training, no lessons. It's just something that I could do, and so. I did a TED talk at the Sydney Opera House in front of 6,000 people. I thought, and then I hadn't done much broadcasting then, but I'd always got interviewed as an athlete, and I knew what I hated getting asked, which is if you answer a question about basketball, and they go, so, like, what about this? And you're like, did you not hear what I just said? Like, about how annoying is that? And you've got boys would agree. And, I learnt that. So when I started broadcasting, I made sure I don't do things like that. And I could have 10 questions, but you ask one of them and you just, whatever they want to talk about. And
you have to actively listen.
Correct. Otherwise, you're just being a jerk, I reckon.
Otherwise,
it's like
you're just being a prick.
You are. But the broadcasting has been the big thing that's really projected me because, if I was just playing tennis, people are like, oh, that's kind of cute, and then you forget. But because you've got a mainstay in the media and people can bind your story a bit, and the Triple J audience was so good to me and got around me, and now the Hit one and on being on TV and mate, it's crazy and I love it. And the best part is when you do something good, like I interviewed Prince Harry at Invictus Games and his press secretary from Buckingham Palace was like, man, that's the best interview he's done in like 5 years.
Yeah, right.
Because I didn't go in there grilling him. I just tried to be myself. And when you hear things like that, you're like, cool, It's like,
so when can we expect a baby with you and Megan?
Exactly. And you know what? They say don't ask that. What do you reckon people asked him? That. I'm like, you're an idiot. They literally said don't ask that. And then what does he do? Not talk to you. As I would.
You'd be Kyle Sandilands intern who goes down there to tell Prince Harry that Kyle shat himself on air that morning. Now, 17 was you were with the Rollers. What was that like? You kind of came of age representing Australia in the big boy league.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was still in high school. I remember the day we won gold. I should have been in a year 12 accounting exam. So suck on that to all my mates who were in class. But win a gold medal at 17, I probably didn't understand what it meant. But to do it with a bunch of dudes whose lives had been absolutely turned upside down, because I think I was the only one born with my disability. The rest were all from accidents.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And most of them are from
that kind of the
cancer, car accidents.
Yeah.
The amount of people that go, oh, why in a wheelchair? Oh, first time on a motorbike.
Yeah.
I've heard that many times. Yeah. And imagine having your life ripped upside down and then to be sitting next to each other in tears, watching that flag go up, not so proud of ourselves, was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
And people say, what was better, winning gold at 17 with basketball or winning gold in Rio for tennis? And they're both great. And I think the one thing about when you do a team sport, you share it with your teammates, which is unbelievable. Actually, we had a guy called Lance, who was like our Chinese translator, and we said we want to go to the Great Wall of China, and there's an accessible part, and he stuffed it, and we went to the only inaccessible part. There was 6 of us in wheelchairs, and we just paid 4 Chinese dudes $50 each to carry us up 1,000 stairs to the only the only bit of the
1,000 stairs.
Yeah, the only bit of the wall that you couldn't like. No
4
one,
blokes.
No one was there, and there's 6 guys in wheelchairs. They just did trips, and we got on top and just had beers with our gold medals.
It's true. I mean, like,
and there was no one there. It was unbelievable. You know?
Right.
Like,
So,
if you want anything done in China, you can do anything you want. You just got to
Mate,
pay for it.
they were like, no way, $50. They were like, I'll carry it 10 times. They were so excited. and then so you share it with the boys and the team, but when you win an individual gold medal, like for tennis, you share it with your family.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's more with them.
Yeah.
So they were both pretty amazing. Yeah.
What do you prefer? Less entourage? Less?
Yeah. Some of the tennis players, they would have 15 people with them.
Jesus.
And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I had my coach, and like, even to the point where I've kind of said to my dad and that, who gets real nervous, I don't really want to see it before I play. And he understands that now, because I just want to get with, I'll have like my brother there, my manager, my coach,
Your dad's
my
not
dad.
one of those tennis dads?
No, not in a gnarly way. But
You win or you sleep outside.
No, he just gets so, and you know how you can hear your family's voice.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you guys wouldn't recognise each other's voice because you hang out a lot. I could get a double fault, and I can hear my dad go, "Come on, D," like that, and I go, "Mate, calm down, all right."
Yeah.
When I'm training at the Australian Open, like I did today, World Labour Arena, when no one's there, that it should be the same when I'm trying to win a Grand Slam.
Yep.
So you just try and keep it exactly the same.
Yep.
And it's just me and my coach and my doubles partner hanging out, talking shit. And when all of a sudden there's all these people around you going, "How you feeling, mate? How you feeling, mate? You pumped? You ready? You ready?" You're like, calm down. Why are we all getting so excited? So
I'm calm.
exactly right. It's like I am calm.
But you're not calm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop fucking wigging me out.
It wigs you out.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Or when people go to you, you're like, "What's wrong?" You're like,
Yeah.
"I'm chilling." You know what I mean?
Everything's fine.
Yeah. So
Yeah, what is the what's the kind of go with all this stuff? Your sport, your media, and then you've now in event planning, which is just the toughest fucking world to be in. Did that come from you just being a festival head?
a bit, man. Just like a bender. Ability Fest is a charity music festival that we started a few years ago, and all the proceeds go to the Dylan Alcott Foundation to help kids with disabilities. And the reason we started is I used to get bullied about my disability and never invited anywhere. And I remember I went to Falls Festival when I was 17, and it was the first time I felt fully included when no one cared about my disability. And it's really hard work going to a festival, but I just suck it up. But for a lot of people with disabilities, especially people with worse disabilities than mine, you physically can't go. And that's unfair.
Yeah.
So I also hate black tie events. I don't want to do a charity black tie. I thought, why don't I do something not only that they can enjoy, but also raise money? And through my connections in the music industry and that, we started Ability Fest. And we raised, over $400,000 over the 2 festivals that we've had so far. And, there was a story about the first one. I had a kid who came, and then a mate of mine's a doctor, and he got put on in intensive care. And a kid came in on life support. He was about to die. He had muscular dystrophy. And he got a bit better so he could talk. And my mate noticed he had an ability bracelet on, which meant he went to the festival. And my mate James goes, "Did you go to the festival?" And the kid's like, "Yeah." And James said, "I went as well." And mates with Dylan. And the kid said, "Can you tell him that was the best day of my life?"
Oh, right.
Because he'd never been anywhere with his mates and had fun. And we just do it as a case study that hopefully Splendor, Coachella,
Get a bit more accessible.
just look at that and go, 1, you make more money because people want to go.
Yeah.
2, it's not that hard.
Yeah,
you just ask them what they need, And it's rad. And like we have this thing called the sensory quiet area for people with like autism and Asperger's. Watching them with noise cancelling headphones on so they can actually watch the show without. It's so cool.
Yeah, right.
And their families all next to them in tears because then they can take them with them.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So it was.
Did you have to do a bit of research and different kind of like different kind of requirements and
So our company, Get Skilled Access, that's what we do, and the big thing is, I got so sick of able-bodied people talking on my behalf about what I need because I got no idea. So, and in government, that's all they do. It's like, "Oh, we're doing this thing," and I'm like, honestly, who told you to do that? Like, that is such a waste of money.
Which bland, able-bodied man's running point on this project?
What lame person said that? So,
well, it's almost like how in the budget that came out just a couple of days ago that they were harping on about, this budget is back in surplus, but they also had to take almost $2 billion out of the NDIS.
Exactly right, yeah. But you know what? Our company got a bit of money in the budget, so shout out. Shout out.
Shout out, Night Watchman.
Yeah.
Cheers, Josh.
Cheers. Here's Joshy. When you know it's going to a good place, you know, you got to be happy about it. And with I don't know what it's like to be blind, so I'm not going to tell you. I tell you who should tell you, someone who's blind.
Yeah.
So what we did is went around to the communities that we knew and said, what would you do at a festival? What do you need?
Yeah.
And they're like, this happens, and we just fixed all the problems. And it works a treat because of that, you know. And it's refreshing that corporate Australia and the government now.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I think they give a shit.
Yeah.
They haven't got money for it yet, but they care now and they want to learn. For example, if you were homophobic 15 years ago, you get a slap on the wrist, but you can live. If you're homophobic now, you're done.
Yeah.
If you discriminate against disability, you're on the cusp of being done now, as it should be. And that's because there are people in the mainstream now where if something happens, we can go, not good, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's a voice. There's a voice even.
Yeah, you can just be like, you know, this isn't the AFL football show, you know.
Exactly right. Good new host of that, actually.
You can't say that.
Have you seen the new host of the footy show?
Yeah, I've heard he's. You play much football?
Oh, you should see me kick a torp. Fucking beautiful. I haven't played much, but I'm a big footy fan.
Yeah, right.
And,
who's your team?
I go for Carlton, and I almost got a kick for Carlton last year, which was nice. No, because of that shit. And then, they are starting to get a bit better, which is good. But same thing, you know. The only thing we used to get to talk about when you have a disability is having a disability. Why can't you talk about footy? Why can't you be funny? Why can't you go on Triple J or Fox FM or whatever and do whatever you want?
And I know the sports clubs know, you know, who their most loyal fans are. You know what I mean? Because that shit's been accessible for decades. Decades. You know, they've had wheelchairs.
Because that makes good business because we all go. As they should. And that's what, you know, supermarkets should design their stores better because you make more money. Not because you feel good, you know. Things like that.
Who's coming to the party with Ability Fest? You got any shout-outs? Any sponsors there?
Man, we got heaps. Yeah, ANZ. Get on top of your money with more ways to pay. Thank you. They
how did they go at the Royal Commission? Were they good? Were they nice?
I think out of the four of them, they went the best, which is nice.
Right.
And also, I always thought I was going to get ripped for, you know, they're so good to me, and they genuinely care about my career, but also people with disability. And I mean that. I'm not just saying that because I know supposed to. But I was expecting more hate from people on Twitter. Yeah.
Really?
You're a dog for being sponsored by a bank, but no one cares.
No. But I mean, you played it very well. It was like Dylan is now taking a little break from Triple J.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and like later, you're on a billboard.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone knows that the banks have been fucked for years. You know, it was like surprise.
It's their job to do that. No, they've been so supportive and things. And so ANZ have been a huge, like, you know, over $100,000 donation. TAC as well. QT Hotels are giving us the whole hotel.
Really?
For everyone like
That's
that.
a nice little one in Melbourne there with the bar.
Yeah.
Good steak there.
What I did was I put a Polaroid of me semi-naked on the bed, covered in rose petals for every artist.
Really?
And signed it. Yeah, just for their wank banks.
Oh, so they're all staying there?
Yeah, everyone is.
Right.
Everyone stayed there. So.
Oh, that'd be a vibe.
Yeah. Good gear. So, so many people, and all like, you know, not one artist in 2 years has taken $1. Not one.
Right.
And flight facilities, they'd charge a bomb. Clown liaison, the presets, $0.
Just showing up.
That's a huge donation.
Yeah, that's
and
huge.
I can't thank them all enough. Every artist that's done it, because it's helping a lot of kids with disabilities, not only having a great day, but also, you know, we've given university scholarships, we've given wheelchairs, we've given all kinds of stuff, and it's really helping a lot of people, which is sick.
Well, we'll just shout out to Diageo if you want to come to the party with some, you know, high-end liquors.
Yeah.
Young
Henry's gave us frothies.
Young Henry's already in.
Shout out to the boys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get some Batuta Bitter in for year 3.
Can we? Where was my drop?
Yeah, it's Batuta Bitter hasn't really made its way into the cold country yet.
Yeah.
Actually,
I've sucked out a few cans myself, though.
Yeah,
I like
Misery Guts in St Kilda. Shout out to Misery Guts.
Yeah.
They're
I used to get a Misery. I used to live in St Kilda. I used to get a Misery Guts.
Yeah.
It's a beer that's, you know, that is served best warm.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, you know, it's a bit hard.
You should just get them on tap in London then.
To serve. Yeah, well, it's actually quite big in London, actually.
Yeah.
But it's it hasn't really taken off down here in Melbourne for some reason.
If you need a brand ambassador.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
You're ready made.
I know a guy.
You got a couple gigs. You got ANZ and there's an insurance one we saw you. Or at least a photo of you.
That's just a photo of me crowd surfing that they put up. Yeah. NRMA it was. Shout out to Pauline Hanson. Taking that NRMA cash. And then I just got a global Nike ambassador deal, which is pretty cool.
That's huge.
Not many disabled athletes have one.
Yeah.
Do you know who the first one was? Oscar Pistorius.
Really?
So I don't think, hopefully I won't go that way.
You're bringing great credibility back to the brand.
And,
I think.
And I get who else I got? I got Toyota. I got a lot of people that look after me. So it's
that is something. Actually, that's something we don't need to talk too much about it. But that is the next name after Dylan Alcott, isn't it? Your job is to bypass Pistorius as a Paralympian.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I probably won't do it the same way he did it.
No.
I might try and keep my current girlfriend living because I do love her. Because she's a lovely lady. Shout out to Chantel.
And then it's a bit harder to get a handgun too here in Melbourne. You know, like after you.
Also, my bathroom door hasn't got a lock on it, so.
Yeah, no, that household name, Blade Runner. But I mean, obviously, what happened. What's your have you been given a name yet? Are we running? Is there some like a Bam Bam in the UFC?
Mate, I like that. I haven't got like that. We should. Do you want to make one now?
Yeah, let's.
I get dildo a bit, but that's
dildo.
So easy. Dildo Baggins.
Yeah.
My brother calls me Dilbert.
Yeah, Dilbert.
My mum calls me DD, which we're not going with.
Need some sort of
cool, something cool.
Yeah.
I always watch UFC and it's like Dylan, the assassin, or something shit.
Country.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bone Crusher.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll
The
work on that
Lightning
one.
from
Actually, that's a
Brighton.
good call out for the listeners.
What was that one?
The Brighton Lightning.
The Brighton. My brother used to call me the King of Bayside.
Yeah. King of Bayside.
Dylan, the King of Bayside.
Well, that's a good one for the listeners. Send in any ideas for Dylan's name, his nickname, because we've got a.
How many wheelchair puns do you reckon we'll get?
Yeah, probably a few. Hot Wheels. Have you got Hot Wheels before?
Dylan having a really good time, Alcott.
Really good time. We were just talking before about actually talking with Briggs because there was a conspiracy that you're in the chairman's lounge, and that's what he said.
Yeah,
he said, he said, is that a pun? Dylan's in the chairman's lounge.
Is that right? Well, I actually just went there and said, "Oh, my name's on the door, chairman." So let me in.
This is my lounge.
This is my lounge.
Yeah, no, something military, preferably, like the Scud, Philippoussis.
Do you want to know something funny about military being in a wheelchair? Whenever you go to America, play tennis there all the time.
Yeah.
People
They think you're a veteran.
I was in New Orleans. This lady came up. I was 18. I was playing 19, playing basketball. She comes up and goes, "Sir, I just want to say thank you so much for your service to our country." And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
No
and then
worries.
I clicked. And I was like, "Oh, no." She said, "Can I buy a beer?" And I corrected her. 2 hours later, a guy came up. "Sir, thank you for your service to the country. Can I buy a beer?" And I said, 100%.
Stolen valor.
I was having 20 times.
It's like
Jesus.
Jesus.
Got to say yes to make it easier.
Well, funny is America. If you're fit looking and in a wheelchair, must be a war vet.
like
Straight to it.
it's like, what part of America are you from, boy?
Yeah.
That's one hell of an accent y'all got on.
Arkansas.
And I'm like, "G'day, mate, I'm the king of Bayside. I'll have a Batuta bitter, thanks. Cheers."
I'm from South Dakota.
Yeah.
So you're excited for Tokyo?
Yeah, so Tokyo 2020, I'm not saying it's definitely going to be my last, but I'll be 29 then, getting old. I could win 20 Grand Slams, and I'll look back at my life and regret it if I didn't do what I was made to do, which is, I think, continue to help as many people as I can. And I think one of the best ways to do that would be in the mainstream media worldwide. And if I can, I mean, it's already on the way, cracking it here and doing things like, this helps a lot. And but if you can go, why can't James Corden be in a wheelchair, or Jimmy Fallon, or Brad Pitt, or
for sure.
acting? And I want to do heaps of stuff. I really do. Bit of acting, bit of all kinds of things. And
Adam Hills doesn't count because he hides it under a pair of trousers.
well, I didn't know for 10 years. I must say, though, he's a good man, Hillsy. And he does look after the Tokyo community. He's a ripper bloke. But he's missing a foot, cop out. Not even that bad.
Yeah,
tried to. Yeah. So, I'll go to Tokyo. And bit of fast trivia, full of facts today. Do you know the medals in the Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics are made out of melted down Nokia phones? Because they have a surplus of Nokia phones they can't get rid of.
Really?
So they're melting them down and then plating them bronze, silver and gold.
That is so goddamn Japanese.
Yeah. And you can play Snake on them. No, that'd be such
Wow. You well, I can imagine that'll be the most accessible Olympics in a while. Japan knows how to get.
Mate,
shit
there
done.
better be fucking robots pushing me around. I'll be just chilling. And you know how organised they are. They're already ready.
Yeah.
Most people are like Brazil, Beijing. They're like building like when you get there.
Yeah.
But I suppose they're
What's
finished.
that fucking wild Winter Olympics? Sochi.
Oh yeah,
The Hunger Games.
Yeah. Mate, Rio wasn't far off it. It was pretty gnarly, but did the best that they could
Didn't
do.
get mugged in Rio.
Nah, we were pretty, mate, everywhere we went, we had a guard with like a machine gun. It was pretty gnarly. That was cool, actually.
Yeah.
My family and friends had a great time. It was
In the favelas.
in the favelas, exactly right. They actually missed all the tennis. They were stuck there.
But they were just up all night, being like,
Yeah. Hey, what, there's tennis on.
Barbecues and shit. Yeah.
why am I here?
Yeah, no. Well, that sounds good, Dylan. Thanks for having a chat to us today. All the best with Ability Fest number 3.
Yeah.
Bigger and better. Who? Let's do a call out now. DMAs, you're locked in.
Yeah, it was Tommy's wedding that day. On
right.
they pulled out.
Okay.
I'll have DMAs, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll have Rufus.
Yeah.
And if we're aiming big, might as well just get Childish Gambino as well.
Yeah, for sure. Courtney Barnett, that's a given.
Yeah.
You're coming along.
Big fan of Batuta.
Yeah. Briggs, you got to go there. Like, who else? Just name them and shame them. We can get... Fuck, Tame Impala. Get your ass down to Ability Fest.
Elephant, I reckon I'd come in my pants.
Yeah.
Just to prove that it works.
Red Hot Dill.
Can I just say, boys,
Okay.
big fan over here.
Thanks,
Love your work. So it has been a privilege to come on.
Thanks, mate.
Keep the
Thanks.
goal. Keep
Well,
the
we
goal
love
coming.
Melbourne.
And I cannot wait till the day I get an article. Just letting you know.
All right.
If you know anyone at the newspaper,
Local sellout does ANZ campaign.
just rip me in half.
All right.
Can't wait. I got a shout out once. I was pretty happy about it. So.
No. You've surpassed Boney in terms of Triple J talent. Like, Boney's got to get a billboard yet. So
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, we maybe you're more deserving of a Batuta article than Boney. She's had a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now she's on the Today Show.
Yeah. Yama Brook.
Thanks, Dill.
See ya.
And once again, we're out of time. We're at the top of the hour. Thank you, Dylan, for joining us. Up next, there's Tim with the headlines and followed by Hello Sport. Until next week, my name is Errol Parker. Stay out of the pokies. Don't talk to the police. They're only out to ruin your life.